You think it caught the... Hey everyone, this is John and Lori with Acclaim Crafts, and I don't know if you guys have been, if you were watching for releases or little hints and tips and tricks or whatever Lori's got going on the Facebook channel. She posted about us doing what we are now calling the Chinese buyer's remorse video. Okay, so let me tell you, we'll give you a little brief rundown as to what happened. Like any responsible business owner, we're out there keeping our fingers on the pulse of the industry, looking for product releases, new products. Lori's a beater. I'm the woodworker. I do a little chain mail, but she's the beater, okay? So keeping abreast of the things that she does for a hobby and for income she's done in the past. Right now we're concentrating on our beading boards. But we want to know what you guys are using, and she's still beading. So we go out and poke around, right? What's new, what's latest, what's greatest, and so on. And we were out browsing. I'm not going to say where, because I'm not going to advertise for these bozos, but we're out browsing, and we go, hey, that's our board. What's our board doing in blah, blah marketplace, right? We don't have anything there. And look at it a little closer and go, wait a minute, that's not our board. Somebody's copying us.
Big time.
And so we figured, well, the only way they could have really copied us would be to have bought, purchased one of our boards somehow. Now we're not selling in China. So somebody stateside, apparently, and at least if I was going to plagiarize and outright steal somebody's design, I'd probably buy one and take some measurements and blah, blah, blah. I guess you could do it from a screenshot. We don't know. But anyway, we thought we'd reciprocate and buy one for ourselves so we can see what it is. When we were looking at this thing online, we zoomed into the photographs. So at first, I got to tell you, I was PO'd. Okay, it's like somebody's stealing my designs. And I guess anyone out there, we're not the only victims, Chinese victims, right? Yep. Or the victims of China. We're not Chinese, actually. But anyway, so some of you guys, or y'all, depending on where you're from, have run into this before. And so we're not the first. But anyway, so the first reaction, I hope you can appreciate, I was pissed. And then we start zooming into the pictures and looking to see what it is they made, And we start laughing because, and you'll see here in a couple of minutes, we're going to go back on the workbench and I'm going to show you what it is that you get for your discount. And so we start looking at that and we're thinking, okay, this is pretty funny. And then we go, oh, crap. It looks so much like our designs, our boards, that some of the people who are loyal to us, or maybe somebody's mentioned something to us, or, check out Acclaim Crafts or whatever, and their board looks like this. And you can't really, zoomed out, if you're looking on your phone, you can't really tell this, but I could tell because I make the things, right? I'm looking, I'm going. So we went from PO'd to laughing about it, and then into the, oh crap, kind of mode. You guys, somebody out there is going to get duped by these guys. And so we've turned the whole thing basically into a public service video. I got to tell you, we are not doing this video out of envy. As you will see shortly, there's nothing there to envy, okay?
It's a buyer beware video.
It's that. It's a caveat emptor.
Yeah.
You want to buy one, knock yourself out. Yeah. Although I hope you get a bit of a conscience and you're not going to buy stolen goods, because effectively that's what this is. Somebody stole our design. Last look, they've copied 4 so far. 4 of our designs. We have 14 boards, I believe, right now. So whatever percentage that is, that's what they're doing.
Just going down our inventory and just buy one.
And we'll show you why here in a minute, why that's maybe not something you want to get into. Anyway, so we bought one, kind of, reciprocity. They bought one of ours, we're going to buy one of theirs. And we'll show you here in just a couple of minutes. But anyway, I keep saying, but anyway. But anyway, we'll go back there. We'll see you on the we'll see you on the table in about 2 shakes, okay? Okay, guys, here we are at the workbench. And I'm just going to go over a quick comparison of the two, starting with the unboxing-ish. And see what you get for less. Okay. So first of all, theirs came in this Amazon box. Jostling around inside. There was actually more jostling than you can hear here, because inside the box, on top of the board, came a bunch of router bits that I had ordered. So bouncing around inside, you go out and you spend some money on what you think is going to be a nice tool, and you've got all this stuff. You know, I don't know. I didn't see any damage on it, to be honest with you. But still, I think it's less than could have been done. They basically threw it in a flat bubble wrap box. These bubbles are barely have any air in it, so you're not getting a lot of protection there. But they threw it in there with the bag in the box, and that's it. No protection for the corners or otherwise. They don't really have to, because it's a cheap board, right? So worst comes to worst, it's coming from China. You know, you go ahead and tell them, hey, my board was damaged in shipment. They'll send you another one. No big loss, no big deal to them. I've used this blue painter's tape that you see here to cover up any identifying marks. So that's it. So came in a flat bubble bag. Might as well wrap it in saran wrap. And there's their board. Now, for those of you who have one of our 40,002 bracelet boards, that will look very familiar to you, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, now, this is what our board comes in when you get it. First of all, you will notice there's nothing moving around in there, and there's a reason for that. We ship every board in these polyurethane corners to protect, well, the corners, right? There's also airspace between the board and the box that's maintained throughout shipment. In case something dings the side of the box, it's not going to ding your board. There's also airspace because of these corners on the top, between the top of the board and the inside of the box, on the top and on the bottom. I get my fingers up under there. And so there, and it's got a pretty nice bubble bag. And if you like popping, you'll get your money's worth for popping the bubbles. All right, so let's go ahead and pry this out of here. Set that aside, remove our corners. In the bag. And every time you buy something from us, guys, we're going to include a thank you card. Lori will handwrite one of these for you, to you, and to let you know how much we appreciate your shopping with us. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here, okay? So there's that. All right, now you can see the similarity between, I mean, this is obviously a counterfeit, right? This is a copy. Somebody's trying to copy us. I'll tell you what, though, they messed up here. They can copy the look, but they're not beaters. These guys can't possibly be beaters, and I'll show you in a minute. So they have something that looks the same, and when you're looking at a computer screen or a phone, if you're looking at this on the phone, you're not going to be able to tell one from the other, right? I mean, even with the sizes. And so if we do the fisherman's trick here, bring the fish closer to the camera, you'll see it starts to look the same size, but it's obviously not. Also, there's a bit of a lazy Susan thing going on here. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so let's get to the comparison. Well, size-wise, first of all, ours measures 13 by 15. Theirs at 10.5 by 12. So square inches wise, you're looking at, I did the math on this already. I am not this sharp, guys, okay? 195, nearly 200 square inches versus 126 for theirs, $1.25 versus $2, right? It's substantially smaller. Now, smaller by itself is not a problem. Sometimes you don't have a large work area, and you want to, you need something to fit, right? So you're going to be looking for something smaller. We have those, guys. We have smaller boards. They're our Porta line. We have a Porta beater, a Porta cedar, and a Porta bracelet now. Okay? So if you want smaller, we have that for you too. But it's not just smaller in its footprint, it's also smaller in its thickness. Now you can see here, hopefully you can see this. I don't know how this is going to resolve on the cameras. Lori's operating the manual and I've got an overhead going. But wow, look at the warp in that. But if you push hard enough, you can, it's a very nice flexible board. You can straighten it out. Anyway, so we'll talk about the materials. Oh, and I wanted to point out the reason I did that. Theirs is 2-piece versus our 1 solid piece. Somehow or another, they've either glued it, their 2 pieces together, or it's taped or something, and Lord knows how long that'll last. But anyway, ours is 1 piece. That's something you don't have to worry about it coming apart, right? What was I going to mention? Oh, the material that we use is a door grade cabinet quality MDF. It is also LEED certified. That means that the people who keep track of pollutants and those kinds of things, and California, for example, they want things to be just so. And this is LEED certified, and it satisfies California's concern with health issues. This, no clue. There's no information whatsoever on what this. It kind of looks like that, pegboard, that really hard. It's a little lighter in color, but it's like a press board of some kind. I don't know. But probably, Lori's going to include a couple links in the description below to show you, if you guys haven't heard, some of the things, what happens when you buy Chinese products in terms of health concerns. Illness up to and including death. Not that, unless you hit somebody over the head with this, you're probably not going to kill them, but I don't know, what are you going to be breathing? There's that Lazy Susan thing. This board, being 2 pieces like that, is unbalanced, and it rocks like a cradle here. Anyway, so I imagine trying to beat on that thing. So let's see. All right, so we've got the footprint. We also brought I did want to show you the thickness. I didn't show you with the calipers. Ours might at, zero that, at 3/4 of an inch. And there's, look at the difference in the thickness on this, guys. Anyway, theirs will mic in at about 0.6. So 5/8 is 625. So you're looking at, a good 1/8 of an inch thinner. And, I don't know. If you want light, well, they've got plastic for that, right? If you want something that's not going to move when you nudge it, you bump into it or whatever. And especially you're not going to want something that spins like a top. But you might, heavier might be better for you. Maybe not. Okay, let's see what else. I had a bunch of things I want to go over, so we went through over the size. Let's go into pull over a shipping scale and look at the weight difference between the two. Compare that. Our board is 3 pounds, 6 ounces. Their board is 1 pound, 6.3 ounces. Ours is a full 2 pounds heavier. It's less. This one weighs less than 1.5 pounds. Anyway, so don't know if that matters to you, but that's the comparison. It's like, you're paying less, you're getting less, right? Let me see. Oh, one of the things, if you read our reviews, people will comment on how nicely rounded the edges are. They didn't bother to round these edges at all. There's not one anywhere. The corners are sharp. The top is sharp. The edges of the pockets are sharp. The edges of the grooves where you're going to do your layout are sharp. Anyway, so these guys, not being beaters, they don't know, what it is that's important to us. Ours, everything's rounded on here. The corners, the outside corners, all of the outside edges, all the way around. The pockets, there are no sharp edges in here. Another difference in our board and theirs is we use V grooves. So if you drop a bead, anything from a seed bead up to, a cue ball if you were going to want to use anything that large. But realistically, any size bead that you're going to be using on our board, you can take out of that groove from the tiniest of seed beads. This is a 5mm bead, and it's not going anywhere. You can grab it, When I say it's not going anywhere, that is unless you have one of their boards. Now I can't grab it here. We have a V-shaped groove. Theirs is like a canyon. It's straight walls going all the way down. And if you use anything smaller or 5mm and below, when you're trying to lay this out, you're going to have your larger beads sitting on the top, and the tiny ones, you're going to have to use tweezers. You can't get your fingers in there. So if you want to position something, and what happens sometimes when you grab round beads with tweezers, you're going to be looking for a bead somewhere. Anyway, not made by a beader. How would they know what we need, right? The only difference appearance-wise on these two, they've joined these two pockets. So now actually you have two less pockets than you would have, even though, I don't know, what are they trying to do? Get away from a copyright infringement there? What's the deal, So that's pretty much it. Might look the same. It's not the same. You don't have the same quality. At the risk of creating a Streisand effect. Hey, one more thing, really important here. Look, there's no numbering on here. How do you know how long your bracelet is? You got to pull it, keep a tape handy and keep measuring. We've got sizes on ours, starting in the middle, working your way out to the sides. And there's, I don't know, that looks a couple inches. Roughly 2.25 inches shorter channels. So you can't make as long a bracelet as you might, I don't know, you're making one for a guy with a good sized wrist or whatever. So there was that. What else? What am I missing here? I think that's it. Other than I was going to bring up the Streisand effect. You guys, now that we've shown this to you, maybe somebody's going to be thinking, I can get one for less. I'm going to go find myself one of those Chinese-made boards. Knock yourselves out, guys. But it's not the same quality. You've got less of a work area. You've got sharp edges. You have less accuracy. There's no measurements on it. You've got two pieces versus one piece, one solid piece. I don't know, the finish. Oh, check out this finishing too. Look at this. This is, this is how it came. And if you do find this board online, zoom into the pictures they have. They haven't even taken the time to try to conceal the fact that they've got a crappy quality board. And look, I don't know if you can see these divots in the channels, but it's in every one. Every one of these has that. Look at these, the beading channels, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all 5 of these have that kind of a dip. How are you going to you're going to put a bead there, it's going to roll in there, it's going to sink there, and it's going to stay there. You're going to try to move it over, it's going to go back into the divot. Anyway, so that's it. That's the comparison. You guys, I'm pretty sure you would not want me buying something somebody stole from you. We would ask that you buy from ethical beaders. There are several wood bead board manufacturers out there. Some of those boards are absolutely beautiful. And it's not about, we're not complaining that we have competition. Competition's good for everybody. But buying stolen, ideas even, we shouldn't be encouraging that sort of thing. There are times that I have to buy things that are made in China. We either don't make them here anymore, or I don't know. I can't. Sometimes they're so outrageously priced here, I can't justify buying it, and I buy. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. So if that's your deal and you have to buy one of these things, knock yourselves out. But if you can, we're not that much more. I mean, you're getting more for what you're paying. It's not like, it's an equal board and theirs is half of what ours is. Theirs is cheaper for a reason that all the reasons we just went over. Anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate your patronage. Thanks for watching the video. We'll talk to you later.